Let's talk about the second right in the 5 rights, the right message. Here's something I bet you already know, and we're going to focus this on kind of preaching and sermons, but this is true for any communication that we have with our church, right? Emails or social, anything. But let's focus on preaching. You can preach a faithful message, you can prepare very well, and you can genuinely care about everybody who's going to hear it and still wonder why discipleship isn't happening. That tension is more common, right, than most pastors probably want to admit. And the reason is if we admit it, we assume we are the problem. Our sermons are the problem. We're not good enough from the stage, from the pulpit. And here's my experience. It's rarely actually true that it's about your effort or theology or your passion. It's actually about your aim. Okay, most pastors, right, they feel this unspoken kind of pressure. I know I did every week, right? You're supposed to say something meaningful and biblical and helpful, and by the way, for everyone in the room. Now, as a church consultant and pastoral coach, I probably preach 35 times a year on the road. They're always on road games for me. I'm preaching at different churches all around the country all the time, and I feel that. Like there's this expectation that I place on myself, especially as a guest speaker, to be meaningful and biblical and be helpful for everybody. I bet you feel that too. And it all sounds like the right thing to do or feel until you realize what it does. See, here's the deal. When every message tries to serve every person equally, clarity for everyone fades quickly. I mean, some people are going to lean in, of course. Some people, though, they don't really know where they fit in. And some are ready for more, but they're not given more. And kind of that uneven response, it creates a sense, or could actually create actual stagnation in their faith, in the faith of the church. And the instinctive response, right, is usually to add more. More explanation, more application, more content, more programs, more, right? But clarity, right, doesn't come from saying or doing more, okay? Clarity comes from knowing who you are speaking to. Okay, one of the most freeing leadership shifts that you can make is this. You don't have to say everything to everyone all the time. You don't have to say everything to every single person all the time. In fact, that expectation is often what slows discipleship down or stalls it out altogether. I mean, different disciples, right, are listening through different filters. Remember, in our 5 rights, we start with the right person. And we said there are 4 categories of people in your church. So 4 categories of the right person. Seekers. Seekers are asking, is this place safe? Students are asking, where do I start? Shapers are asking, is this stretching or challenging for me? Stewards are asking, where am I needed? When one message tries to answer all of those questions at once, no one hears a clear invitation. That's why within the 5 rights, the right message only works when it is matched with the right time and the right way that leads to the right next step, for beginning with the right person. When communication becomes intentional like that, discipleship becomes directional, intentional. Here's the most practical shift that I can really give you, at least as we talk about this right now. Before you preach, before you teach, before you plan anything around communication, I would love for you to ask this question. Who is this primarily right for right now? Who is this for now? That one question, it can sharpen your language, your illustrations, your application, and whatever invitation you're going to offer. And you can still speak to the whole room, and you should, okay? And I certainly would encourage you to offer application ideas for the other categories, but the direction, that's going to beat diffusion every single time. So if discipleship feels heavy, right now, well, first, join the club. I mean, discipleship is hard. But it isn't because people don't want to grow. It's just because we're not designing it around where they are in their growth. So one kind of thing you could do to make it better is just improving how communication and the pathways align. I mean, this week, right? Just choose one group, aim one message. Just take your sermon for Sunday and then clarify the one next step. Who is that sermon really best for? What is the best next step for that person? How should you say it knowing who it's for? What's the right way to communicate it knowing who it's for? And again, I'm not suggesting in any way we ignore all the other categories in the room. We call this concentric circles. When I teach more deeply on preaching and messaging, we talk through lots of things around concentric circles and how the different people in the room, we can give them different opportunities to apply the truth. But the reality is almost every message we preach is probably better targeted to one of those four categories. And so we can offer application to the other. But do you know who you're really talking to each week? When you discover that, it doesn't just make your messages better, it helps discipleship move faster.